Well, what's up one and all? This is Bearson. This is the second part of my Pokemon Black Randomizer journey, and when last we left off, we had just started our track towards the Pokemon League, which ended unexpectedly prematurely thanks to our buddy Trapinch turning out to be a rather poor choice on our part. With it only having access to a normal type move, which in this randomizer is not really a good thing. If our biggest fan Jasmine wasn't an indicator, the Route 1 truly was, because every single Pokemon there appeared to be a ghost type Pokemon. Yeah, not fun. Eventually though, Trapinch died, and we had to restart the run since the NUZLOCKE was already in place. On our second attempt though, we made some very different choices, especially concerning our starter, Tepig, who proved to be a rather valuable asset. Indeed, our friend we named Geiges later made short work of our fangirls Jasmine and Scarlet. We made for Route 1 only to run into a Mudkip, and we had high hopes of actually catching it, but the bugger didn't want to be caught. So with sadly only one Pokemon on hand, we made for Accumula Town, where we are indeed right now. Doing our darndest to ignore the professor waiting for us at the Pokemon Center, we wander around the plaza only to find Jasmine, who, as always, has something of value to add to the conversation. Yeah, thanks for that. With no other option left, we eventually give in. We let her show us how to put her balls in the care of a young nurse and have our Pokemon healed. Yet our vision wanders as we spy a Pokemart. Isn't 20 a bit excessive? Listen here, salesperson, I didn't come all the long way from November only for you to doubt my choices in life. Thank you. Back outside, we have our first run-in with Team Plasma, who, true to form, demand the freedom of Pokemon, those hippies. While the bystanders are almost instantly swayed, we are not so easily convinced. Which does earn us the attention of a young man who simply calls himself N. And to clarify later on, he is indeed a fan of mine as well. Or maybe it's fun and it's a European name? This is stupid. What looks like an easy battle against a singular Barboach quickly turns into a panic button situation where we're almost decimated immediately. Through sheer luck we avoid the next hit and muster just enough strength to fell this fearsome opponent. A victory barely claimed, N, or fun, just waltzes off. We find ourselves agreeing with Jasmine for once before we give chase. Though the green-haired menace is nowhere to be found, Route 2 is a welcome sight indeed. The burst of joy is intercepted, however, by our mom, who uses the time of the call to teleport behind us and shove a new pair of Jeezys into our hands, the best presents we got since the Wii from episode 1 we did not acknowledge whatsoever. She gives us a quick tutorial about the principles of walking, but faster. She goes away and leaves us at the mercy of a fresh pair of grass. And our potential catch for the route entails a Chinchou who... Okay, quick rant. For those of you who don't know, I'm German. And in German, this Pokemon is not called Chinchou, it's called Lampy, which makes much more sense. What the hell is a Chinchou? Our sight fixed on a new companion, we prepare for a fierce fight, a battle of cunning and wits that will absolutely demand... Oh.
That was easy.
So with our new friend Corey added to the team, who turns out to be a fighting type, we set out to absolutely wreck Route 2. First off comes some mandatory grinding though, which wasn't much I assure you. I think it was at most 2 to 3 battles, 4 at most. We finally start tackling the trainers on this route, and despite Corey being more of a crutch early on, holds her own weight remarkably well. Give her some time and she could turn this into an underdog story of her own. Even her Hailstorm curse comes in pretty handy in some bits. So in essence, she's pretty much May, but buff. One way blocked by a mighty bonsai, we make for the north, where we are stopped by the high-pitched cry from an all too familiar source. It's our fan, Scarlet. She challenges us to a fight and sends out her latest acquisition, Dino. We send out the unbeatable Corey to obliterate, but yeah, right, ghosts. Everyone is a ghost. Gotcha. Still, Gyges destroys Dino, and Cory can get her revenge on Trapinch as retribution. Scarlet sods off, and we take our first step into Striaton City, where we will find our first gym. But not before picking up some trash, bugging the locals, and asking a man for his splendid great balls. Being told that we are indeed not too cool for school, we make for, well, school, where we find Jasmine, who is just as eager to show us her growing collection as her friend Scarlet was. Jasmine shows us the latest addition to her team, a Jamask. Normally, this is a ghost-type Pokemon, but in a randomizer setting, what are the odds of Jamask getting rerolled into a... oh, it's a ghost-type still. Of course. Though Igglybuff does come close to actually making Cory faint once, we still wipe the floor with Jasmine. To make up for an underwhelming fight, Jasmine shoves some berries into her mouth, but this may not dissuade us as we make our way to the gym. There we are intercepted by Silan, who deduces that our Tepig must be weak to water moves. Not quite. Gold star for trying there, Silan. He raises a good point though, in that some preparation can truly never hurt, and the nearby Dream Yard may hold some Pokemon we may use to our advantage. So we head there, post-haste. There we immediately run into a trainer, who has nothing to her name but a failure and a gullet. The latter proving the only challenge at this point. Right after that comes another trainer, an artist by trade, who brings a literal small army to the field, but Cory punches her way through all of them. And at the end of the Dream Yard stands a man who offers us his...
Are you kidding me right now? We went from being unable to catch a mudkip, to a swole fish, to a legendary? No, this is not okay. I mean, I take it, but...
What even is this randomizer? So we regain our composure and accept this humble gift. Our knees weak, our arms spaghetti, and name it Harley. We pick up another ball, as a man can never have too many, but sadly the only path onward is blocked by an almighty traffic cone, so back the other way it is. We head straight for the arena, our egos somewhat bloated thanks to having Best Girl at our side. Using 110% of our grey matter, we solve the first round of this gym's gimmick, which earns us a fight against the retarder, of which even youngster Joey would be afraid of. Even though we struggle for a bit, Gyges eventually does earn us a victory against Tamer Florentino. Our reward consists of another puzzle and yet another trainer battle against a Slugma and ironically enough a Pikachu. By making the serious mascot faint, we finally give an all sense of normality the finger for the rest of the randomized run. Now, it's official. Alas, puzzle before us, the path is finally free towards Silan, who steps aside in favor of Analyst Wellington, who's our challenge here apparently. Well, I say challenge, but there really isn't much to brag about here. So little in fact that I decided to keep the entirety of the fight in this video. In true analyst fashion, Wellington sends out a Tailo, not really to scare either side, but to just scout out the competition. I for my part immediately go for the Leaf Storm, after a day's worth of trying to punch ghosts, which really didn't go anywhere. This tactic however proves to be somewhat inefficient. This really isn't a scenario where either side can overcome the other with much ease, to be honest. My suspicions eventually proved themselves correct, as yes, Tailo is of course another ghost type. I mean, what else could it be really in this randomizer, right? After countless rounds of throwing dead leaves at my opponent, I eventually wised up, but of course not before Wellington uses a potion, which Yeah, diminishes all my deeds thus far. After I had enough of this, I eventually swapped Cory out for Holly, who is the better choice overall. And you gotta hand it to her, she does know how to make an entrance. She makes short work of the already pretty badly damaged Halo here with one Seed Bomb, which is a surprisingly overpowered move. Then again, she is a legendary, so yeah. As I sense a Darude Sandshrew coming, I decide to give Gygas some love as well. Just following a notion here, I decide to go with a Shadow Ball. And yes, lo and behold, of course, he is another ghost type as well. If I didn't know any better, I would think that I was playing a creepypasta hack of a Pokemon game with all the ghosts around, really. Gotta admit, I got mildly excited seeing Gygas level up here, but nothing really came out of it. And with that, we've beaten Wellington. And what a piece of cake it was. Our first badge in hand, the Trio badge, we are one step closer to becoming the Pokemon League champion. We receive ourselves a complimentary TM, which either contains Skull Bash or Workup. They haven't made up their mind about that. And just like that, we leave this rather disappointing gym behind us. Outside, we meet a strange professor type, who barely leaves us any time for celebrations before practically dragging us into her home. Although she does give us HM1 cut, so there's that. She urges us to make haste to the Dream Yard once more, to gather some dream mist. Guess she can't be seen by authorities around that spot anymore, but the gentleman gets the lady her fix, so we set out to the Dream Yard once more. But that shall be the focus for another day. This was Bearson, wishing you all a great day, and may RNG be ever in your favor.